Hello, namaste, and welcome to the Real Talk by Sports Planet, where we spark conversations that shape the future of Indian sports. I'm Chavi, and at Sports Planet, we believe in one simple, powerful idea: the future of Indian sport lies in science. And today, we're thrilled to be joined by someone who truly believes the same. We have Ms. Shifra Fernandez, the head of sports science at Center for Spine and Sport Health at Pulela Gopchand Academy. From her beginnings in US as a physical therapist to being an educator in Manipal and now working with some of India's top clients, she brings a unique global lens to sports science. Let's start with your journey. You've had a fascinating career in US, in Manipal, and now at CSH Gopchand Academy. Would you want to walk us through the evolution and what drove each shift?
Yeah, sure. First of all, hi Chavi. Thank you for having me here. As you mentioned, I've done my bachelor's in physical therapy and I went on to do my master's in kinesiology in the US. After which, I worked there for a year and a half with a wide range of athletes, NC2A athletes, as well as recreational athletes out there. Having that experience, I came back to the country for various personal and professional reasons as well. And when I started off at Manipal University in the Department of Exercise and Sports Science, which was at the time one of the few institutes which had a sports science course. And that is something which really appealed to me. And I actually came on for a very short period of time, but happened to stay on there for at least 7 years. And it has been a really wonderful journey over there. There was a lot to learn, not only from my colleagues but also from the students. And it's wonderful to see where each one of them have reached and are helping out in the field of sports science currently. After 7 years, I thought I needed a shift, and I needed to challenge myself a little bit more. And that's when I came to Hyderabad, because that was where we realized it was an untapped market also for sports science. We had a lot of athletes in Hyderabad who I realized were traveling to many different places, and that's where I met many of them at Manipal, at Bangalore. And that's when I realized, okay, maybe there is a need for professionals out there. And that is where me, along with some of the other sports science graduates who are from Manipal, invited me over there, and we said we'd start something. And one thing led to the other, just by just mutually just working with the athletes without any thought of the outcome. And that's when I happened to meet Gopi sir, who also supported the idea for establishing a sports science center. And then along the line, within 2 months, we had Mr. Naresh, who is the CEO of CSSH, come on board. And he has the same vision, where we have a multidisciplinary setup, where we have a sports physician, we have sport physios, we have sports scientists, we have a sport nutritionist, as well as a psychologist, who can work together to enhance the health of the athlete. And when we say the health of the athlete, why we say health of the athlete? It's because the musculoskeletal, as well as the science which goes behind training them, to whether it be preventing injuries or whether it being a performance aspect. So we're trying to look at it from all aspects, and definitely try to reduce the risk of injuries. So it's been quite a huge transition and a very new role. But I'm really happy with the way things are going right now.
That's nice. I'm glad you stayed longer at Manipal because, like, I was inspired. I'm sure there are hundreds of students who were inspired by you and your career. So yeah, I'm really happy you stayed for longer in Manipal. Right. So let's move on to the next question. As the sports science lead at one of the country's most elite academies, what does a typical day look like for you, and how do you collaborate with coaches and athletes?
Okay, so currently I wouldn't say any one day is the same.
Yeah.
Because we're still in the phase of setting up. So we have, like, apart from me, we have 5 more sports scientists who have joined on board recently.
Okay.
And we have a high performance manager as well, who does more of the collaboration with the coaches and the athletes.
Right.
So we have a team who identifies the need first, and depending on the athlete, we track a lot of data. So when we say that sport is like based on science and driven by science, there's a lot of data which is involved,
Okay.
and that's something we are primarily focusing on right now.
Yeah.
Whether it's through wearable devices, or even at the center we have an entire musculoskeletal screening device, which is pretty much the first in the country that is present out there. And so it helps to give us a lot of like the muscle asymmetries, etc. So from there, that is some type of data, one type of data. Other than that, we track like their sleep, their nutrition, what is the exertion levels, how they are recovering. So when we see all of that, that's where our high performance manager Seshagiri comes into picture, and he kind of helps everyone track that. And then with the coaches, that there is a discussion that okay, this athlete has been pushed through this much, and we need to maybe cut back a little. And the same thing, we keep the athlete in the loop that they need, because at some point we feel that even though we communicate with the coach, sometimes the athlete might not communicate back.
Yeah.
And that's the missing link. So developing that trust and understanding between um, uh, all the individuals involved in this ecosystem is very essential. So over the past 6 months, that's what we've been trying to develop, and it's still a work in progress.
Yeah.
But and I'm not talking just for this academy, but in general, that's very important. Like you see the highest centers or the various high performance centers in the country, and maybe even across the globe, that link between the athlete, the coach, the sports science team, and everyone on board in the sports medicine team as well is very essential.
Yeah.
So that's where when we have this, so at least when we have the data to show, that's when the coach is going to be like, okay, yes, that makes sense to us now. And that's where we can bring about that change. And that's what's been happening. And that's where we are able to track on injuries are slightly more earlier. I mean, there's still a lot of room for improvement, I believe, for sure. But we're in the right direction, I would say, right now.
Okay.
So that's the way we're heading. And we plan to take it on a larger scale, like creating different metrics, creating different data tracking systems. That's the way we're trying to go about things.
It's really nice to see when people focus on holistic development of athlete, grassroots, and everybody is as involved as they should be in the process, which is nice. Like I've also noticed that people try to cut down on cost by having one person do multiple jobs, even when it's not supposed to be their job. So that's something which has been sort of a gap which I've noticed in the Indian market. But it's really nice to hear that you all are putting all hands and power on board. So yeah, with everything you've seen, where do you think kinesiology is headed in India? And what is the vision for the role it'll play over the next decade, maybe we can say? Or if you want to put it for Olympics, coming Olympics.
Okay, so first of all, kinesiology is a little underrated in the country, I would say. Everyone is now aware of sports science.
Yeah.
Kinesiology is not entirely different, I would say. Kinesiology means movement. It's you're dealing with movement. It may be for an athlete, it may be for a general population, it can be for anybody.
Yeah.
And that's the approach I use for even rehabilitation or performance. So as a physical therapist myself, I rely based on movement patterns, movement identifying. That is what a kinesiologist does. So there are different branches in that. It's a very broad umbrella term. There can be biomechanics to it, there can be exercise physiology. But personally, since I have majored in exercise physiology, is where I follow more of exercise prescription. And that's where for me, for return to sport and injury risk reduction, that's the entire domain around which I work. Identifying the movement patterns, identifying what a person or how the body can or cannot move, and based on that, we develop, okay, this is the missing link. So that's where I can speak to the strength and conditioning coaches also, that okay, this is the particular movement pattern which is missing. We do a needs analysis for the sport. This is what is needed for the sport. So now from here, this is where we are going to add on these movements so that we have complete movement ranges, or whether it's muscle strength. So that's where either I use basic field tests, or I can use the devices that we have to identify these deficits in movement. And based on that, that prescription is given to the individual, which is not going to be like a separate program, which must be integrated into the existing training program. That's where the athlete is not burnt out doing like, okay, they're going to have to do like injury prevention plan, rehab plan, a training plan. But the athlete is a human at the end. They're burning a lot of calories, they're burning a lot of fuel, and at the end of the day, you don't want them to be fatigued. You want to optimize their performance. You want to check where what are the bounds that they can reach, and how can we make them reach that most efficiently.
Right.
So that's where we try to integrate all of these aspects. And for kinesiology also, kinesiology, or in India as it's sports science is the term which is catching on. Where yes, there are more disciplines involved of nutrition, psychology, just general well-being, and a lot of more data analysis and data tracking. So where all of this can be integrated and can be used. So there are multiple setups in the country. A lot of them are doing really well, and kind of integrating everything together. And I still say, since we're still way behind as compared to the Western world, and in several different sports as well, but we're getting there. Like the awareness has increased like tenfold. So we're getting there. There are more professionals who are available because of the number of sports science degree programs which are available. So it's coming to that point, and definitely whether you see it for the next Olympic cycle, there would be a lot more sports scientists on board, and who are driving the path for the athletes. And getting that correct guidance is what we're really looking at. And where the athlete also believes in the same, and they understand the principles of what we're going through. But definitely we do not want them to follow on blindly, but having that education, that's something again that we are working on, to try to get people more aware and educated about that. And I think your platform is trying to do the same, so which is really helpful.
Thank you.
Because like, as a professional, I know what sports science can do. For the athlete to understand that, for the other coaches to understand that, it's still going to take probably a little bit more time. But I'm saying, I see the openness of everyone towards sports science, which is amazing. And that's pretty much where I wanted it to go. Like after coming back from the US about 7 years ago, 8 years ago, and that's the line we're currently in. And in the next 10 years, it's just going to like exponentially exaggerate, or you say take off in a big way. So yeah, that's where I see it going. And like, I think there's going to be a lot more technology, because there are so many more companies which are coming into the market, and very user friendly technology as well, which makes our work a little easier. Is if you see, like from the beginning of times, where you had like the old Douglas bag, where person is holding it and running along with the athlete, to now like a more sophisticated metabolic cart, which has made life a lot easier. So technology is definitely helping us. And the only thing is, we need to know what is the type of technology which is actually going to help us, versus just trying to cut corners. That's not something that we want to do. We want to make it efficient and get the appropriate data from that.
I mean, having seen the Western world, I do understand we are slightly behind than them, but I feel there is exponential growth in India now. And I'm glad you mentioned about Sports Planet. We're really trying hard to promote sports science awareness, sports development awareness in the market. So I hope we catch on soon. And yeah, that's what we're hoping for. So, Shifra, you've worked with different athletes like university athletes, elite athletes, and even general population. So, in order to shape athletes, where do you think we should start from? Like, what is that starting point?
Okay, so yeah, definitely have had a wide array of experiences, and I think something which personally agrees with me a lot more, and makes me the happiest, is to work with children. That's basically from where we're going to be able to direct youth, and identifying talent at a younger age. So that's something which personally I have tried to pursue that, and gain more expertise in that as well. At Manipal, we started a program for youth development, and it was the most rewarding thing I felt, where you have like happy faces every morning. And it's not necessary that all the 20 kids that I worked with during that period of time, like for one session, are going to make it to the topmost level. But I do know that starting them young gives them the aptitude for sport, which has been lacking in the country. There has definitely been a shift, but there is a lot of talent which is there, which is very untapped, and it's not only from the metropolitan cities, which like most of the success stories you see are from like a small village or
Yeah.
because they're into really hardcore work and their bodies have adapted to that. So
Right.
when we talk about talent identification, there is it's one skill is yes one aspect of it, but depending on the sport, it's very necessary to identify the anthropology as well as the anthropometric characteristics of
Yeah.
the child, and to know what, if we can project what is going to be their growth like, it helps to identify what talent and what sport they might be more suited for.
Okay.
So right now, talent scouting is something that we've been talking to different organizations also about, and we're trying to. We don't have a standardized procedure. Yeah, there are multiple ways in which everyone is doing it, and I mean, I'm not saying it's not happening. It's definitely happening, but if we can go about it a little more scientifically, there might be a lot more which can happen. For the better, and also just getting them into a sporting culture just helps every child, because there are so many issues, and with all the social media presence and with everything, a lot is going wrong with children, which shouldn't be. They should be having a really happy childhood, and they should be having fun, and they should be enjoying, and they should be physically active, because that's a demand of the human body.
Yeah.
But that is something where, because of like they don't have the confidence to play, or they don't they're not as good as their friends, they tend to step back. But that's where like the encouragement to just start off and get adapted to different skills. So there are basic fundamental skills which you require, which can like as you grow older, you can have that makes you better at different sports, but that just gives you a greater chance to adapt to different sports as well. So that's where we want to start off teaching the basics to children, and then it should be a matter of their interest, because a lot of times there is like a stress on early specialization, which may not always be the case. So certain sports like swimming or gymnastics, yes, you need to start on a little earlier, but the other sports you do peak at a slightly later age. But again, you need to know whether you're going to make it or not in the sport. If you want to continue as sport for life, yes, good, but you need to have an idea whether the athlete is going to make it on an elite level, and again giving them all the opportunity, not by judging them just on particular few matches or years or anything like that, but there has to be a systematic approach to it. And that's where I think starting from the grassroots level for all different sports, and encouraging them to participate in multiple sports is where we're trying to stress upon. Okay, by the age of 5 to 6, over that, where they are exposed to different sports, then the child is able to select what they like better, rather than them being forced upon a particular sport, and after some time they're burnt out. And that's where I have noticed, or I've seen like many national level athletes getting burnt out by the age of 18, 19, where they're supposed to be peaking, but they're just burnt out and they're not able to push any further. So that's where we need to develop an ecosystem where there is sport for life, there is sport for performance, and there is sport for health as well.
Well, I think it's more of a society issue as well, because it's a culture where you're asked to pick one sport as you're a kid. Like, okay, you've been playing football, so you go on to play football. They're not given that freedom to choose different sports and play different sports. And obviously, the screen time is also increasing a lot now. So I think if you put that effort of letting them play multiple sports, maybe a bit of the problem could be solved there. And so, Shifra, thank you for sharing your thoughts and insights. And I really love your passion towards the sport. And before we wrap up, is there any one message or multiple messages that you have for me, for the viewers, and for people in general?
I think to start off, sports science being so new in the country and everyone having the passion for sport, I would want to tell like younger professionals that there is a lot of scope in this field. When we started off, I think 8 years ago, everyone was very skeptical about what's going to be the future. Are they going to get a job? Are they going to have, a decent meal from this job? But there is so much growth which is happening, and there is so much that you can build right now, because it's growing really fast. Like, you miss a day and there's like another center, there is another athlete who's broken a record, and it's all because of the different efforts which are put in. So I think one is, I think getting into the field is, if you're really interested in the science aspect of it, for a lot of people who need to do science or want to do science but don't want to get into the mainstream, you know, medicine, engineering. So this is, and who are interested in sport as well, definitely a really good field to opt for. And other than that, I think for everyone, I think sky's the limit. There's no one can stop you. That's something which I learned only after, getting from the grassroots level and getting into the field and seeing that, okay, there are opportunities every day and every single place. It's just the way you approach it, that the attitude needs to change with the current generation also. I think they're very technology dependent, but there's a lot more which needs to go into, their efforts and putting themselves out there to actually make a difference. Like, if you're passionate about it, it's definitely going to work out. And I'm not saying the passion where, your parents scold you for no, you do not follow your passion, but it is a very respectable field, and there is a lot that you can do in this field, whether it is on the performance side, whether it's the technology side and engineering side. There is so much to contribute to sport, and not for anything, it's just for the well-being of every individual. I think everyone should choose sport or exercise for just general well-being, and help yourselves to live long.
Just to add to it, if you are a science student, obviously sports science is in picture. But even if you're a management student, or even if you come in that general management category, there's so much more that sport has to offer. Be it an athlete manager, a center manager, there's sports law, there's sports architecture. I mean, if you need proper sports infrastructure, you need a sports architect to build that. You can't have a general architect build a badminton court who knows what is the dimension of the ceiling and things like that. So sports is a growing field, and we do need professional in sports. And like you correctly said, that it is growing at a very, very fast pace. And I'm sure the more we get in this field, the better it's going to make it for us. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you for being here, Shifra. Lovely having you here.
Thank you.